Do you remember what frame of mind you were in when you first asked me for help?
Yes, I think it was the other week, and I was struggling to see. We had a decent script for the outreach, but I was struggling to see the human side of it. I was struggling to see like how this is going to land on an actual person. It was like, cool. From a business sense, this script is good. It ticks all the boxes of what you would expect in an outreach script. But to deal with people, I just didn't know how that was going to land on a personal standpoint, and that's why you and I basically rewrote our entire outreach script. We cut the rubbish out of it and we turned it to more personal. It went from like a long 40-second to like a quick 20-second, which we can just dash off. And I felt much more comfortable saying. I mean, the previous one, I sounded like a robot when I said it, but I think like if we look at our CRM, I've sent like 115 messages from your script, and I enjoyed sending them to an extent.
Honestly, I love to hear it because there was a point in my own setting career where I absolutely hated sending outreach messages. So from you telling me that you enjoy the outreach, I think that's more than enough. Would you agree that like just doing what makes you happy is like a rule of thumb in life, and do you feel like you got closer to that with those small tweaks?
Yes, I would definitely say I got closer to it's just a kind of feeling of actualization in I can just rinse and repeat the same task over and over again and not enjoy it. It's just clicking a button on an Excel spreadsheet, or I can find a way to enjoy what I'm doing.
Sick. And to involve Adam in this as well, you touched on it briefly. What wins have you guys had since we had those interactions?
I think just obviously having that outreach script to be able to send outreach at mass is great, because we're just like, cool, let's start having these conversations and let's not force the conversations. We just want to have conversations with people, and having obviously the script that you helped us write just means that we can have those conversations at scale. It still be business related, and there still be a purpose to actually having these conversations. And obviously, from the back of those conversations, we've met more people, we've booked more calls, and we're very confident on what our offer is going to achieve.
Awesome. Literally so awesome. Anything else from you, Joe?
No, I mean, I'm just looking at our CRM now, and yeah, I mean, like we just sent out a quantity. It was just so easy. Like we both got good at the script. We knew it was going to take 25 seconds, and you could basically just do like 2 messages in a minute. Like if you had some decent leads, you just do 2 messages in a minute, and people responded being a person. Like, you got a response from someone and they were just like actually enthusiastic about it if they opened it. So yeah.
Yeah, awesome. And for the people in the audience who are very metric focused and heavy and they like to see some numbers, do you guys have any previous metrics and percentage changes in your response rates, booking rates, anything that would basically take someone off the fence?
To be difficult, we've not sent enough. We didn't send enough messages previously. I think with our first strategy, we sent 11 messages, and then with yours, we've sent like 100 odd.
Do you have the current numbers?
Yeah. I mean, it's got let me just take all the filters off here. Our current numbers, we've sent out 130 messages, got a response rate of 19%. 90% of those are positive replies, so someone not telling you to bugger off. And off that, I got 7 calls booked. So, I mean, if you want to look at the numbers, you've got 7 calls booked off 130 messages, which is not too bad.
From an account with 22 followers and no posts.
From an account with 22 followers and no posts.
Now that is a bloody testimonial right there. Like, it doesn't really involve you. Look at that right there.
25 followers.
25 now. We're growing.
Yeah.
If you're watching this testimonial, go follow that account, and I'm sure they'll be giving you the most friendly message of all time.
Yeah. It'd be very personalized, by the way.
Yeah. I feel like there'll be a touch of me in there as well, because I don't know what they're really shelling out there, but I can tell it's working. That 90% positive reply rate speaks for itself. Anyway, enough of the yammering. what would you say has been the main perspective shift that you've gained from the interactions?
I'd say the main perspective shift has been purely based off actually treating these people like humans. At the end of the day, anyone who's got a decent amount of followers and is doing a cool thing is going to be receiving 10 to 15 inbound messages per day of someone trying to pick them on something. And I mean, firstly, you've got to stand out from the crowd, so send a different original message. I mean, it's not just the original outreach message. I mean, you can send 1,000 messages and get 100 responses, and book no calls. So it's how you deal with them afterwards, which I think you help with. Just how would you like to be messaged? Treat them like a person. Send them a voice note instead of a message. That type of thing, which you and I talked through on the call the other week, like actually how to handle someone when they do reply. I think you gave a few examples of when you were setting, and just being able to send someone just a quick voice note, coming back quickly, not leaving them for a day, just simple things like that I hadn't previously thought too deeply about.
Perfect. And by thinking deeply about them now and you understanding how to respond during conversations, where are you guys at now as an overall business? You're a startup, you are essentially getting more people in the door, but I want to know how you guys are feeling.
Good question. I mean, starting out is always difficult purely because you don't get the results right away that you want. It's just having to remind yourself every day that you have to go through a bit of time of crap. You have to go through a bit of time of rubbish to be able to get to, the good stuff later on. It's, when you wake up with no motivation, be like, I made no money yesterday, I got no responses from my outreach and I did nothing. It's like, well, actually you did loads and that will pay dividends in X amount of time, which I think we are struggling with or have struggled with, purely just trying to get motivation in the morning when you're seeing no tangible results from it right now.
And in terms of going through that time and understanding that it's going to be a delayed process of getting the results in, what results have you got so far?
I mean, I was on a sales call like an hour and a half, 2 hours ago where, I mean, in principle, the guy agreed on $3,000. So, I mean, that's not bad.
Not bad at all.
Yeah, wants a few deliverables, but quick 14-minute sales call. He's happy, I'm happy. Made a new friend. Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. And Adam, what do you say to the prospect of someone being on the fence? If I'm the mindset coach and they're the person struggling with outreach, what would you say to them?
I'd say actually doing the outreach itself isn't difficult. It's everything that you mentally attach to sending that message. So like being able to talk to you is understanding that abundance mindset. It's understanding that, this message doesn't actually have as big as an impact as you're making out in your mind, but it does have the impact of getting the ball rolling. And I think people working with you are able to get a better understanding of that and separate themselves from the output versus the input.
I really appreciate that. Separating the inputs from what they actually mentally get back, I think is so important. And I think Joe can attest to this as well. Like, it's all in your head whether or not this is going to work or not. But either way, it doesn't matter. If you understand exactly what it takes to put the numbers out and not give a shit about what anyone else says, but have fun with it and do what you guys are doing, which is absolutely amazing. I love seeing you guys work. Then I think that's well worth understanding. So anything else, Roger?
A wise Alex Hormozi once said, if you do so much work that is actually unreasonable to fail, then you will win. And I think it just goes back to, if you repeat the abundance mindset to yourself and you actually, I mean, it's hard, but if you actually tell yourself like all these things, then you just have to convince it to yourself in your stupid little brain.
Awesome. So that's a good one-liner. Convincing yourself in your stupid little brain is the key.
Yeah.
Getting more outreach numbers down.
It is. I mean, that's the only thing stopping you from hitting your potential is you. So if working with you gets you over that barrier, then it's a no-brainer. Like we had a sales call with someone the other day and they said, how much are you making each month? And we told them how much we were making, and they said, right, are you making 50K a month? And they were like, and we said no, obviously. And they were like, right, so every month that you're not making 50K a month, you are losing out on 50K a month. And it's like, when you put it like that, yeah. obviously, that is quite simply there, but they are right. So how much would you be willing to put in to get to that? Because the risk of not putting in the work just outweighs the actual work you need to put in.
I'd 100% agree. I think the prospect of like negative and reframe it into a place where you're losing out on so much if you don't do this. I think with you guys, it's also like you're losing out on the positive as well. The positive can come from money, it can come from relationships, it can come from I'm going to be losing out on that, I don't know, deck chair on Elephant Island, because that's what, as a byproduct of that revenue amount, like it's all just getting into your confines of your head. That's what sales is all about, essentially, is getting into someone's head and understanding them, putting themselves in your shoes. And by the sounds of it, fellas, I feel like you've got a real good headway in understanding more people, and you've got a real good focus on relationships, which I value to the moon. Much of applause.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Cool. That concludes the interview / testy. Mono.
Oh,
Testes.
oh.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'll stop recording now. But say hi to YouTube for the last time. And this has been Alex Archives Live, Joseph Quinn, Adam Hurst. Bye bye.
Hi, YouTube.